Okay, guys, so this is Doki Doki Encore Part 5. I'm recording the same night I recorded Part 4 on, and a couple things. I had to erase my save data because I wanted to test if that would fix the error messages I was getting in Part 4, and that did fix a couple things. So at the end of Part 4, I know it'll be up by the time you're watching this, but I will put what Monica's confession, lament, whatever, at the end of part 4 was supposed to look like, because there was some cut dialogue from those error messages, and I looked over all the other spots I got errors, and there was no extra text, so it was just exclusive to Monica's scene at the end of part 4. But with that said, I'm gonna set my settings back to where they're supposed to be because I had to skip over a lot of the game to get back to where I was. I kept all my decisions exactly the same, so it's still the same game, just now it's functioning the way it's supposed to. So, let's get on with it, because I'm guessing the final day here is going to be a chaotic one, to say the least. I slowly open my eyes, expecting the same rush of pain to hit me like a freight train. Unexpectedly, as I lay in bed waiting for the inevitable, I feel fine. Aside from this feeling of dread, I peek over my shoulder to look at my alarm. I don't have to get up for about a half hour, but maybe it's best if I get ready early for once. This is going to be a long day. Because, yeah, things got really screwed up at the club yesterday. Oh my god, that was something else, dude. Like, wow, was I not ready for that. I slowly crawl out of bed, still worried that a sudden rush of pain could come at me at any time, and prepare for the day. As I drag myself through my morning routine, my mind races through all the possible scenarios for what could happen in the club today. We've been able to get through Natsuki and Yuri's fights, but they look more like scuffles compared to yesterday. No shit, dude. Just it wasn't just, Natsuki and Yuri. Monika was getting in on it too. Just damn. Sayori really is the stabilizer for all four of them, and if she's, not able to do it, then, well, fuck. That's just what happens. It's just, wow, I was just not ready for what happened yesterday. It's something the club's never gone through. Maybe it was bound to happen at some point. Oh, I'm sure it was, like with a lot of other clubs. 4 different girls with such different personalities. Throw a guy like me into the mix and it's a recipe for drama. I guess I got what I asked for, but was it worth it? The thought continues to plague me as I finish my breakfast. As I'm putting the dishes away, another thought creeps into my mind. Monika. How are things going to go down with her? I'm sure that Monika can smooth things over with Yuri, but are things really going to be the same after today? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think anything is going to be the same after this. I don't think Monika's the type of person who can just forgive a person for hitting her like that. It's been a strange few days. Who knows what'll happen. Still need to sort everything out with Sayori, too. Hopefully she'll meet me outside. I walk out to the front door and look around to see that Sayori is nowhere to be seen. So I'm pulling out my phone to text her. It's out of the corner of my eye, something hanging on my door. Oh? What's this? Turn around to find a piece of paper taped to my door. Who wrote this? That wasn't there before. I anxiously walk up to my door for a closer look. Looks like it's a letter from Sayori. I was afraid it would be from you. Oh boy, what does it say? Oh, okay. Grow up. Sometimes I wish I could be a kid forever. I long for the days when things were simpler, when my toughest problem was wanting a toy I couldn't have, and staying up late was exciting. But I outgrew the toys and games from back then, and I wear bigger clothing now, too. I've left behind most of my childhood den. Turns out I outgrew you. That hurts. Oof. I could never forget what my childhood was like, watching fireflies on a summer evening, wrapping up together under a blanket in the cold, watching our favorite movie with hot chocolate and marshmallows, trying out a new game, seeing who could make it farther. I could never forget that. So how much would it take for me to say, forget you? I wish I didn't know. My older self will remember fondly as I watch the rising sun. There's no room for anger or hate or spite. You just have to know when to be done. Wow. And the color of the paper evokes a kind of sad feeling. Is this Sayori telling me she doesn't think we can last? Oh no. Crumble up the paper in my hand as I feel my eyes starting to water and anger courses through my veins. I fucked up. I fucked it all up. How? How could I be so stupid? Throw the crumpled up piece of paper at my door and watch the wind carry it down the sidewalk into a nearby storm drain. I lost her. Never get her trust back after this. Part of me wants to scream at the sky. It's not like it'd do anything to help my case at this point. No apology will fix the damage I've done to her. Maybe I can just make something right by going to the club again and help Monika clean up the mess I've made. First time in recent memory, I begin to trek to school alone. Damn, dude. That hurt. It hurts, man. The walk to school was dreadful, but I somehow managed to keep my mind off things long enough for me to get to school and through my first few classes. But as the day progressed, my feeling of self-worth only continued to dwindle with my interest in paying attention to my classes. At first, I thought they'd be a decent distraction for me to forget about the mess I'm gonna have to deal with later. It doesn't work like that, dude. My mind always brings itself full circle to remind me how awful I treated Sayori. She was my best friend. How could I have forgotten how she was still sensitive around me and that I needed to be careful with her? It doesn't matter now. I blew it. To take the time to talk to her. Regardless of how this turns out, she'll likely never want anything to do with me ever again. Then how are you gonna handle the club, dude? Jeez. There's nothing I can do right now. Things are just gonna have to wait. Hopefully I'll get the chance to explain myself to Sayori sooner or later, and we can go from there. If you're gonna keep being in the club, yeah, you can't ignore this forever. Whatever we decide. It really sucks that I'm gonna have to choose between her and Monika. I never wanted this to happen. The rest of the day, it almost seems like time has stopped entirely. Feels like I'm just simply trapped in an empty room with no one else around me, staring blankly ahead at an empty board. I mean, Uh, Even though that's not the case, I'm really just not paying attention. Not that I ever do. For once, maybe I should. Should help wash down the dread I've been feeling since I woke up this morning. The material is just so boring! Just simply lean back in my seat and nod occasionally to whatever the teacher is mumbling about. Silently pray that he doesn't call on me to answer one of his questions. Still, this has to eventually end, right? Clock and see that there's about half hour left before the class is over and I can face my fears in the literature club. Oh well, if there's one thing I know how to do, it's kill time. Decided to map out on paper some of the possible scenarios of what could happen in the club, trying to account for the good, the bad, and the ugly. It still looks like I'm paying attention as everyone else around me is writing down notes on what the teacher's saying. Being the diligent student as always. At long last, the school bell finally rings. Well, I can't say if it was for better or worse that class is over. Stand up and slide the books off my desk and into my book bag as I start the inevitable walk to the literature club. I'm sure to take my time to getting there today. Usually I'd be in a rush to get there. But not today. Today's different. As I'm walking, the anxiety I've been feeling all day only gets worse as I begin to question the point of this. What if we are able to come to terms with what happened and move on? Will things ever truly be the same? What if they don't show up? What if we have another repeat of yesterday, or worse? The last thought sends a shiver down my spine. I don't want to deal with any more drama, insults, or tears. Just hoping that we get this over with as soon as possible. I became so anxious of getting to the club room that I even decided to work in a few stops to get a drink of water to try to chat with someone. Though, I am only delaying the inevitable. Honestly, if I was going any slower, I might as well be a turtle. Feels like an eternity. Finally reached the entrance to the club room. I'm just preparing myself mentally for what's about to happen. I put my hand on the doorknob, but I hesitate. Put my ear next to the door to try to hear if anyone's in there. I hear nothing. Step back and slowly open the door. To find it empty. Oh, shit. I let out a somewhat relieved sigh, knowing that I'll at least enjoy some peace and quiet for a few extra minutes. If you dragged your feet this much getting here, are you sure anybody is coming to the club today? Like, is this it? Decide to settle down while I can and take my usual spot next to where Sayori and I would usually sit. The longer I sit, the more my anxiety continues to bother me, though. It's too quiet here. I don't know if that's because I'm not used to being the first person here, or because this anxiety has got me all riled up. I'd say it's the anxiety, man. But yeah, you're usually not the first one here, so you're not used to this. And today is not a good day for that to be the first day you show up as the first one there. After a long period of silence, I finally hear the door creak open. I see a flash of pink before it retreats from my sight. It's all right, Natsuki. Come in. Try to sound as inviting as possible, but I probably ended up just coming across as sarcastic. Still, she seems to have accepted my invitation. Natsuki slowly opens the rest of the door and steps into the club room. I think these two are the most unlikely two to be here first. We struggle to make eye contact with one another, let alone speak to each other. What else is new? Hello, Ben. Hey, Natsuki. She carefully sets her stuff down, but she doesn't sit. She turns around to face me. She looks restless, yet remorseful. Can't say I blame her. Yeah, I think everyone should be feeling a little bit remorseful over what happened yesterday. Everyone kind of got carried away. She deserves to feel like that after what she did to Seo. I catch myself mid-thought. What are you thinking, dude? Get your shit together, mate. Now I see what Sayori meant. She didn't want me to have all these malicious and vengeful thoughts about the others. I know you're probably the last person you want to hear from right now, but... Ski struggles to keep herself going. Her face lights up in embarrassment as I see tears start to form in her beautiful pink eyes. I'll lend her a hand here. It's alright, Natsuki. I think you should save it for later. I imagine we'll probably all talk about what happened yesterday and try to find a way forward. Not just as a club, but as friends. Okay. Walks to the back of the room and sets her stuff down, but not before turning to face me one last time. You don't hate me, right? I struggle to find the right words to articulate my feelings towards Natsuki at the present moment. I want to avoid upsetting her. I don't hate you, Natsuki. I have no reason to. Yeah, you said some awful things yesterday, but all of you kind of did pretty much, so you're all at fault. We're all at fault here in our own ways, so we just need to work together to get through this, you know? Well, that's a relief. But I'm still very disappointed with you for what you said, to Sayori especially. And how you treated Monika was beyond inappropriate. Suki's relieved expression quickly evaporates. Oh, I see. I kind of figured you still would be. You have every right to. Wrong too, guys. But maybe we can all forgive each other and move past all this. Well, you and Monika seem to be on the same page. We'll see how Sayori and Yuri feel later, I suppose. I hope so, Natsuki. I'll just hope that Yuri... Yep, I just hope that Yuri... Before Natsuki could finish her sentence, the door opens and Yuri enters the room. She looks to Natsuki, who quickly averts her eyes away from Yuri. Yuri's eyes lock onto mine as I continue my icy stare. She tries to say something, but she quickly catches herself and takes a seat on the far side of the room away from us. I quietly sigh to myself. I am not looking forward to talking to her. I don't blame you, man. That was rough. After a few more minutes of waiting, Monika arrives with Sayori. I'm a little surprised to see them walk in together. They are president and vice president, but yeah, you don't usually see them enter the room simultaneously. Guess that's what was keeping them. Maybe Sayori made amends with Monika already. At least that'd make things a little easier. Monika walks to the front of the room as Sayori takes her usual spot next to me. Sayori and I briefly lock eyes before she turns away to face Monika. I wish we could have talked sooner, but there's no turning back now. Prepare for the inevitable as Monika calls out to us. Okay, everyone. She says that far less enthusiastically than she normally does. I detect a hint of sadness in Monika's voice. I think everyone's a little upset with themselves today. Looks like she really wasn't looking forward to today either. Yuri and Natsuki turn their attention to Monika. We all need to talk about yesterday. Everyone, please take a seat at the front of the room. The four of us gingerly walk to the front of the room and each take a seat in the front row. Monika slowly paces the front of the room, letting out a long sigh. What happened yesterday can never happen again in this club. I somehow managed to feel even more unsettled by Monika's words. For whatever reason, my anxiety keeps spiking every time she talks. Maybe it's just the guilt? Glance at the others who are all looking down at the floor in shame. Something must be done about this. Monika then stops pacing and is now directly in front of me. The room is dead silent. She forms her signature smile at me, but rather than feeling welcomed or reassured, I only continue to feel more anxious. In this situation, yeah, it's a little unsettling, to say the least. So, I think it's important that we're all on the same page going forward. Given that we were all arguing about Ben yesterday, and our bickering made him walk out on us. I feel everyone's eyes focus on me. You know exactly what you're doing, and I don't think I'm gonna like where you're going with this. But let's do it. I think it's only fair for him to voice his thoughts on yesterday before anything else is said. Right. I really don't know what to say here. And what's there to say? They were all being jerks to each other yesterday. They know it. But what I say next could very well determine if this club continues to stay together. And it's time I finally come to terms with my feelings. I take a moment to collect my thoughts before letting out a sigh and finally begin to speak. Look. The truth is, I have feelings for Monika. I've always wanted to spend some time around her, and well, I've had a lot of fun. One by one, the girls shoot either an irritated or dejected look at me, but Monika simply smiles. I really don't think that there's anything that will change this. Be in a relationship with her, not despite any of you, but because I've come to realize lately I really like her. We have a strong, warm relationship, and I'd like to continue with it. I turn to Monika, giving her the opportunity to weigh in. Right. Monika clears her throat and adopts a humbler posture. So I know how unprofessional this may look on my part, but it's true that Ben and I have been spending some time outside of the club recently. I don't believe there's anything inherently wrong with that. I see it as my duty as club president to ensure that we all get to know each other and grow closer together. After all, Ben and I haven't really gotten to spend much time together since he first joined. We only started talking this week. Sayori's giving me the look, as if she knew this was coming. I didn't expect that Ben and I would hit it off so well, and I do like him back. I'll also admit that I knew everybody in the club was interested in him, so I made my move. I'm sorry that I didn't talk to any of you first, but I was done waiting for my chance to talk to Ben. Natsuki looks irritated. Oh boy, I don't like where this is going. I do not like where this is going at all.
I didn't mean to divide the club like this. I never wanted to hurt anyone. That was never my intention. But I see no real reason why Ben and I shouldn't be allowed to be together. If that's what he so chooses.
Wait, you knew we liked him? Didn't you all admit it yesterday? And you still went for him without talking to us first?
In hindsight, I wish I would have done that, but I wasn't expecting everyone to have this kind of reaction. I mean, Monika, how'd you think we'd react? You knew I confessed to him. He's my best friend. Well, I'm not sure what we are anymore.
I'm sorry, Sayori.
Honestly, Monika, what you did was very scummy. I knew I would have appreciated a discussion with you about all this prior to you making any moves. Not to mention, how did you know? I don't think that's important. It is. I'd appreciate an honest answer from you. For once. Let's just say when you're the club president, you notice a lot of things about your members.
Then you should have known that we wouldn't have reacted very kindly to this.
Look, I said I'm sorry. Just told everyone I didn't mean for this to happen. What more do you want from me?
Somehow, Monika, I'm getting the feeling you're not being genuine here. I mean, you did slap me. And you accused me of cutting myself. Guys, enough! This is just like yesterday. This is yesterday all over again. This is what we wanted to avoid. We're here to fix things, not make things worse. Can't we all just apologize for yesterday and agree to never let it happen again?
I'll wait for my apology to be taken seriously first. Otherwise, I think I'm done here.
Monika, wait! Monika simply ignores me as she turns and walks out the door. Everyone sits in stunned silence for moments as we process what had just happened. Natsuki is the first to break the silence.
Well, some club president she is. She calls that an apology? Yeah, I don't think she was really being genuine.
Look, I'm gonna go talk to her. Everyone here does owe each other an apology. I really needed to word that better, but I think she really meant it. Meantime, you three should work things out between yourselves. Be back. Try not to antagonize each other. Please? Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki all share an awkward glance with each other as I stand up and leave the room to find Monika. Monika? Monika? Where are you? Damn it! Where could she be? She could be anywhere, dude. Wander up and down the halls aimlessly, looking for any sign of her. Spend the next few minutes peering into nearly every classroom on the floor. Eventually conclude that Monika has gone elsewhere. Where could she possibly be? I wonder aloud. Rattle off possible ideas as to where Monika could have gone. Rather not search the whole school myself, and it's unlikely she left the school without her belongings. Maybe she went up to the roof. It's where I did show her Yuri's letter, and it's probably the most peaceful place in the school right now. Probably wouldn't hurt to check there. I set off towards the stairwell to go to the roof. I push open the doors leading to the rooftop and begin looking around for Monika. Sure enough, I spot a figure staring at the fenced railing. Surely enough, it turns out to be Monika. Monika?
Oh, hey Ben! Didn't see you there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Are you okay? Yeah, I feel the same way about this too. You could have worded things a little better back there, though.
I know. Still a little unnerved by everything.
I get that, and honestly, you have every right to be. Considering what happened yesterday, I'm glad we got to sort things out between us yesterday. If we can set aside our differences, then I know we can do the same for Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki.
How can you be so sure?
We know them best, Monika. They're not complete strangers to us. I just think everyone's on edge, so I don't blame you for still holding this against them. But you still chose to have the club go on, to have us sit down and talk things out. It's what you promised.
Ben, to tell you the truth, I'm wondering if it's really worth going through this effort if that promise can be properly upheld. I care about the club. I really do. I want this to be a welcoming place for everyone to enjoy their passion for literature. I want to work things out with everyone. But what happened yesterday, and with how they reacted to my apology, I don't think the club can be saved, Ben.
Monika.
Ben, look, I know you like me, and honestly, I feel the same way about you too. We established that. The others aren't going to accept this and let us be together, and I see no reason why we should continue to associate ourselves with them. This whole meeting was a waste of time. I should have just reported Yuri to the principal's office and be done with her. It was hard enough to hide what happened from my parents.
Monika, can't you just try one last time to make things right with them? Just try rewording your apology better. It just came out the wrong way.
Ben, at this point, do you really think they'll accept any apology with how they treated me back there? I think it's too late for this. We should just go back, grab our things, and move forward together without them. Then maybe they'll come around. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but can we just get out of here?
One hand, Monika might be right here. Things are way too hot in the literature club right now. Maybe we need a few extra days to let things cool down. And how can I refuse an opportunity to spend more time with Monika? Especially since she just admitted she liked me back. This is a golden opportunity for us. It is, in a very twisted way. But I don't want to see the club fall apart because of petty differences. Or because of me. Not sure it's really worth the trade-off. Did start today with the hope that we could put everything behind us, but this isn't exactly what I had in mind. Oh, damn. This is gonna be a tough call, guys. Both of those options are very, very tempting. This feels like the right choice, asking her to come back, because everyone's worried, they're trying to talk things out, and I don't know how well that's gonna go, if we come back, and we said we would talk to her, but we can't just walk out on them, Monika. You have to know that. We can't just walk out on them like that. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like the right call. And this is why I don't save scum, guys. There's so much more weight on these choices here. I regret nothing. Monika, come on. This is our club. You literally built it from the ground up. I don't want to see you throw it away. You may not believe it now, but you're a great club president, and I believe in you. You just need to put your best foot forward, brave the storm, and just be the best that you can be. If the others don't like it, well, that's on them. You did everything you could, but I don't think you should give up on them now. Please, stay and try to work things out. Monika uneasily glances back at the stairwell I just came from. Yep, she really doesn't want to go back. I think 'cause she knows. Yeah, thanks music. Thanks unsettling background music. Something tells me I might have made the wrong choice. I don't know yet, though. For a moment, I'm not sure if I got through to her or not. Then a smile slowly creeps across Monika's face. Alright, Ben. We can do it that way. Thanks, Monika. It means a lot that you're willing to try to make things work. Come on, let's head back. Monika and I start walking towards the stairwell. Hey, Ben. Yeah? You know, quite to the contrary. I'm willing to do anything to make this work. Oh, I know. I know you are. If we're gonna do this, gotta do it right. Glad to hear it. As we're walking down the stairwell, the doors suddenly slam shut. As we're walking to get to the stairwell, that's new. I attempt to pull the door open, but the door is locked in place. And I see you with them eyes shut. I think you're doing this. Is this a joke? Are we seriously stuck up here? Oh, relax, Ben. What? We're not going back to that club room. So, I never had a choice. Ugh. I am reaping what I have sown. Fuck. Without warning, Monika's eyes suddenly glow a bright emerald green as she grabs onto my shoulders. I'm barely able to choke out a cry of pain as I feel my energy being drained. I try to push Monika off, but no matter what I do, I'm unable to escape her grasp. My eyes keep staring into Monika's as if they were frozen in place. My vision is filled red with blood. I can't even blink. My arms and legs feel completely numb. My lungs cry out for me to take a breath, but my throat refuses to do so. Nothing but ringing in my ears. My head feels as if it's about to crack in two. I feel entirely weightless. My body is sending so many signals to my brain that I can barely process what's going on. I can't even defend myself. Surely enough, I begin to lose consciousness. Or is it death's embrace? If I can't tell the difference, does it matter? Last thing I see before everything goes dark is Monika's glowing green eyes dominating my vision. Don't worry, we'll still do things your way. What have I done? What the fuck? This text looks very familiar. Yep, we're back where we started. So this is how we got here. Ugh, we're back in the void again. All directions, but as far as the eye can see, there's nothing but black, empty space. Hello? My voice echoes. How did this happen? What even happened? Everything was normal up until a few minutes ago. Up until... Suddenly, I hear something walk towards me. A dark silhouette. Monika. Hello? Comes into my view. It's Monika.
Oh good, you're awake. I really hope I did it right this time. And I believe I owe you an explanation.
Look at Monika, startled and confused. Monika? What is this? Where are we? What did you do?
Waves her hand at me to calm down. It's okay. We're safe.
How is this safe?
We're in what I like to call the void, Ben. It's my home. It's where I go when I'm not needed. I take it you recognize it.
Around once more, but all I see is black, empty space. None of this is possible. I have to be dreaming right now. But this does seem very familiar. Yeah, 'cause we've come full circle now. I've seen this place in my nightmares. Look back at Monika, who's waiting for me to answer. I simply nod back to her to indicate that this is indeed all familiar to me somehow.
Good! I was worried I messed it up again. I guess I'm really starting to get the hang of resets.
Resets? Monika, what the actual fuck are you talking about right now? 1 minute we were at school, the next thing I know, you just knocked me unconscious with your weird glowing eyes. What are you? Some sort of god?
Yeah, about all that. First, let's all calm down. I know it's a lot to take in. I'm speaking from experience on this one. But I'm definitely not your normal little schoolgirl, Ben. No, I'm beyond such labels. Actually, it's one of the few things we have in common.
How could we possibly have anything in common?
In a sense, we're both real, Ben.
I know. Take a step back from Monika. She lost it?
Yes, we're both real, Ben. Well, I should say that I'm real. You're a bit of a tricky case.
What are you saying?
Well, I've been talking past you this entire time, not at you.
Yep. Go on. Explain it to him. Take your time.
I've been talking to this lovely person behind the screen who controls you.
You saying that I'm controlled? Her laugh echoes throughout the void, being carrying off into the distance until it's nothing more than a distant echo, until it can't be heard at all.
Oh, please! You're not even a character, Ben! You're an avatar for my beloved.
Funny enough, all the character files are still there.
Just a projection of themselves onto a blank and boring canvas. Unfortunately for you, you barely exist at all. But you're as real as I can get right now. You're the closest I can get to the person who controls you behind the screen.
Who is this person that supposedly controls me, Monika? I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't need to understand, dude. This does not concern you. Monika lets out a sigh.
Ben, the world in which we know is a video game. A visual novel. Everything except for us is pre-programmed is a pre-programmed manufacture series of code that lets life as we know it go on. Essentially, everything we know and what we've supposedly lived through has been a lie. Our memories are a lie. Our families, our teachers, and friends don't exist. They're just imaginary. Even our school is fake. It's just a convenient little setup so that you get to meet us. And the reality is, it's just a fake little backdrop to hide this place from the player's eyes. The player, aka you, supposed to form a romantic relationship with either Sayori, Yuri, or Natsuki. And I was just supposed to sit there and let it happen. I could only advise you on what to do and give you some tips on how to navigate the world. But I wasn't going to let it happen. So I did the only thing I could do. I intervened. I decided to push things along so that we could ultimately end up together. That's how the original story was supposed to happen.
Original story?
Yes. Unfortunately, I seem to be sort of lost in time. When I started to really manipulate the code to tie up a loose end early, I somehow messed up. And through my mistake, I somehow ended up creating a whole new timeline where that event never happened. The festival actually happened when I never intended for us to reach it. And all the events afterward, well, mind you, it's all pre-programmed lies to fill in the gaps in the story. We're never supposed to happen either. We're never supposed to happen either. This is a mod to the original story. Our destinies were altered to lead elsewhere than what was originally intended. So whatever the original game had in store for us isn't going to happen here. Though I've manipulated the code to mirror some certain events that you've experienced. I even invented some of my own, too!
The nightmares.
Yes! I've been inside your empty head this whole time. Trying to steer the player to pick better options.
Oh, come on. It was so obviously you from the start. I figured it out way too early. It was from the first few lines of the first nightmare that I figured it out. Please.
To pick me. That should have been our reality. That's what I wanted our destiny to be. I must admit, I feel like I'm taking a risk by letting you help shape this reality with me. I've watched every single choice you've made, and it seems even with my own route now, you choose to deviate from my route and spend time with one of the others. It just felt like it was the right thing to do that day. Come on, don't patronize me for that. Why would you do that?
I don't know if I can answer that. Dipshit, that wasn't directed at you.
I know you can't, Ben. and I don't think the player has the ability to explain himself through you. But I at least know how to fix all this.
What do you mean? Monika, even if half of what you said is true, only you have the ability to make things normal again.
Ha! You're funny, Ben. I can't turn the code back that far again. The game itself is on the verge of breaking. It was a huge gamble to send you all the way back to the beginning of this last time. This alternate timeline was created. It for some reason had a start at the end. I just simply played along with the script, saw you act out of character. That's when I knew something was wrong. I deduced that a total game reset would fix the problem, and it did. At the cost of damaging our character files.
They're still there.
I completely fixed mine, only fixed the others to allow for minimum functionality.
Character files?
It's how we exist. Without it, we're nothing. We literally wouldn't exist without them. My fix was really just to buy time to formulate a new plan to win you over. I thought allowing you the freedom of choice would result in you picking me, which you didn't.
It was one day, let it go.
I tried to steer you away from the others by giving you those nightmares, but it didn't work. I only further hurt my chances by looking like a total bitch yesterday. And for that, I'm sorry. The others acted out because of the strain that's on their files now. They won't last much longer. So that's why I've decided to just kill two birds with one stone by bringing us all here. Win the player over and finally get rid of the others.
What? I'm gonna save my audio here. What does she mean by that?
You'll see. I've been working on a surprise for you.
You can read my mind?
I can read everyone's thoughts, Ben. I can read the game's script. I know what everyone will say before they even think it. It's powerful and draining, which is why we're fixing that. If you'll be so kind as to follow me.
Monika extends her hand to me. Well, it's not like I have much of a choice in this.
You don't.
Figures. I reluctantly take Monika's hand as she leads me into the dark. As we're walking in total darkness for what feels like hours, I try to mull over everything that Monika told me. There's no way that any of this is real, could be happening right now. But it is. There's nothing else that can explain what's going on right now. No ordinary person could do a fraction of what Monika just pulled off earlier. So I guess she has to be telling the truth. But she's been doing all of this to win me over? This person who controls me. Am I being controlled right now? Don't I have a say in this? Sarah's been my friend my entire life. And she means to tell me that was all fake? It can't be. I'm really not sure what to say to you, man. I still remember it. How can I remember something and it not be real? How can my feelings for her not be real? Sure, you can fake emotions, but not to that extent. Considering everything I know has been tossed out the window, so I have to go with Monika's explanation. I sure as hell can't explain what's going on. I'm only afraid of what's to come. Is Sayori even alive? Where's Natsuki and Yuri? Where's the school? Where's life as I knew it? It's all gone. I'm cursed with the knowledge that my reality was nothing but a lie.
You're taking it better than I did, that's for sure.
How'd you find all this out?
When I started the club. I don't know how else to make sense of it. It's just, I talked to the previous president who warned me not to restart the literature club. Apparently, what happened to me happened to him, too. When I officially became president, when I filed the paperwork and signed off on everything, that's around the time I had my epiphany. I honestly still struggle with it.
I'm sorry. Monika manages a small grin. Not one of malice or an ulterior motive, but the first genuine smile I've seen from her today. It's almost kind of relieving to see.
I appreciate it, Ben.
Don't mention it. So, where are the others? Monika's smile disappears.
You think you're ready, huh?
Ready for what?
You've been thinking over what I said. As improbable as everything sounds, it's real, Ben. I wish it wasn't. I don't belong here. I never did.
You definitely seem like a fish out of water, that's for sure.
Well, you've definitely become quite the poet over our time together. Maybe I was wrong about you. But I know you do an excellent job in representing the player.
Monika winks at me, but I'm not sure if I was the intended recipient of that. Nope. And you're giving me that look again. Thanks. So, what do we need to do?
We need to set them free. That'll at least buy us some time to figure out our next move to keep the game afloat.
What does that mean?
We need to delete them, Ben.
Oh shit. Is this gonna be fake reality all over again where I have to delete them by typing them in?
They need to be totally removed from the game in order for us to survive here.
I'm not sure you're telling me the truth here.
We can't go back to the original game, and another reset will likely kill us all. Deleting the others will free up some of the burden on the code's essential functions. So if it was just us, with minimal surroundings.
You mean to kill them?
They won't feel a thing, Ben. I can make it quick and painless. The only reason I haven't done it yet is if I did without your approval, the player would search for answers, and risks ruining the code if they change anything by trying to add them back. So I want to make sure that whatever happens, you're okay with it. I'm trying to avoid a repeat of what would have happened if I maintained control in the original game.
What happened then? And how would you know what happened?
I had another epiphany. I got shown a reality where you turned against me and deleted me from the game for deleting the others without your approval.
I stand shell-shocked at Monika's revelation. She's only telling me this now? She's holding out on me.
I swear, it's the truth, Ben. The player knows what would have happened. I'm not trying to go against their wishes again.
Monika, you realize what you're asking me to do, right?
You're
asking me to sign Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki's death sentences. I can't do that. Then we're all dead. I don't want to act unilaterally again. If I have to take matters in my own hands again so I can keep the only way of contacting my love, I'll do it. Please don't make this any harder than it has to be. Even if I had some second thoughts about deleting them. Even I've had some second thoughts about deleting them. They may not be real. They're the ones who kept me somewhat sane through this ordeal. They're real to me, Monika. And I'm sure as hell that whoever controls me feels the same too. Sounds like a wager, then. If you're so confident, Ben, show us how much they truly mean to you. Not the MC, not the avatar, just the actual player. Me and you, it's on. Snap of her fingers, Monika spawns in Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki out of thin air. All of them let out a collective cry for help. Quickly notice they're being levitated off the ground. You're doing this. Monika? What are you doing to them? Just stop worrying about them. Worry about us. Remember, they need to be set free, Ben. We're doing them a favor. The longer they're alive, the more strain the code puts on their files, meaning the more suffering they'll go through. Shut up, you psychotic bitch! Monika snaps her fingers again, causing Natsuki to suddenly jerk her head to the left. Oh, that is uncomfortable. That makes me think of unpleasant things. Ugh. Ow! Silence! All of you! Monika snaps her fingers again, and Sayori and Yuri and Yatsuki's pleas for help become mute. Monika! This isn't right! You can't do this! Let them go! Now! Monika refocuses her icy stare on me. Letting them live would be a disservice, Ben. They aren't real. Are you really gonna sacrifice our future just so 3 imaginary schoolgirls can continue to jeopardize our reality with their one-dimensional personalities? Think about it. If they live, we all die sooner or later. But if they die, we have a chance to live on and honor their sacrifice. And think of the other benefits, too. A reality where it's just us. I know you've always been attracted to me, Ben. You want me. It's unfortunate that this is the way to win me over for good, but in this cruel, cruel world we live in, everything comes with a price. Man, you're channeling Hell to Pay by Five Finger Death Punch right now, because I'm feeling that right now. That's what's coming to my mind right now. I guarantee that you'll forget them in a week. I'll treat you better than they ever could. And when I figured out how to cross over into your world, we'll be together forever and never be apart. But you have to make the tough decision to reap those benefits. I don't envy you. It's a tough call, but you have to do it. And if you don't delete them here and now, they can eventually gain sentience. Then they'll learn how to code like I have and destroy our world as we know it. Being separated from you would be unconscionable. Unconscionable? Is that how you pronounce it? Unconscionable for me.
I can't imagine a world where I can no longer talk with you. Please, I'm begging you. Please pick me. Do something for me for once. Let me be the one with the happy ending.
You know what you're asking me to do. At each of the girls as a raging sense of guilt courses through my veins. I begin to shake as my anxiety kicks into overdrive. Can I really do it? Is Monika telling the truth here? Truth be told, I don't think she's telling the whole truth. But what am I supposed to do here? Or is she manipulating me? Is she even telling me the full truth? I feel like she's exaggerating details on letting them live, but how many lies did she sprinkle in?
It's now or never, Ben. No more saving. No more resets. No more time. Make your choice.
A console is brought up before me.
I've taken a liberty in crafting a code that should lead to Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki all at once. It's already loaded in. All you have to do is press enter, and I'll take care of the rest. If you don't, well, just don't make it come to that, please.
Monika looks on in anticipation as I slowly walk up and examine the console. I let out a shaky breath as I look at my options. I can enter in the code. I can try something else. I can just walk away entirely. What do I do? What can I do? Oh. This is why we don't save, folks. This is intense. Well, walk away is out. We can't just leave. But entering in the code doesn't feel right. I don't feel like Monika's telling the whole truth here. I feel like we have to explore other options. There has to be another way. I'm risking Monika taking matters into her own hands by doing this. But I can't do it. The Monika I know wouldn't do this. There has to be something else I can do. At the console, I notice I have the ability to type in. What if I could enter in something else entirely? Would that even work? It's either that, or Monika kills them. Maybe even me.
Is something wrong, Ben?
You know you're asking a lot of me right now. Give me a minute. She's suspicious. So their eyes are locked onto me, however. I can feel the fear within them. So it's me and Monika versus them three in the MC right now. I face back to the console. Maybe there's something that can take away Monika's powers, at least temporarily. But it's down to my best guess. Monika says I'm some avatar from somewhere else. I'd really appreciate their help right now. What do we enter in? What would Monika make the code, assuming it even exists? Monika's the type of person to plan for contingencies. She's had a long time to prepare for this. Maybe the code could have something to do with the girls or the club. That's all Monika's ever known. Looks like I'm gonna have to guess here. I erased Monika's pre-written command, so the console is now completely empty. Monika is not happy with that. Okay. We enter in here. Ah. Oh, fuck. I have no idea what to do. Input your command. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Can I back out of this? Oh. How would you type in reset? How is this even supposed to work? I think if I'm going this route, the game wants me to enter in delete Monika, but I don't think... I think she's got a contingency for that. So that doesn't seem like the right move here. Input your command. Oh. So it doesn't let me enter in like backslashes or spaces or anything. I just have to type something in. I thought it was gonna be like code, because that's what fake reality did. Okay, so they kind of simplified it here. I guess in that case, what if I type reset? Will something happen? Just what do you think you're doing, Ben? Did you really expect that to work? I really don't know what I was expecting. I mean, that was a total shot in the dark. Pathetic. It's like I was too trusting of you. I mean, the game wouldn't let me go back. I wanted to see if there was another way. Sorry. Now you've forced my hand. I was fully anticipating this. Monika, wait! No! I was anticipating this, Monika. I'm sorry. I wanted to see if there was another way. I wanted to see if there was another way, but...
player has betrayed me. No! No, that's not it. You're looking at it all wrong. Monika, I wanted to see if there was another way. I only have eyes for you, but this isn't you. You wouldn't do this. You know better than this. You should know by now that you can't take away my powers. That's not what I was trying to do. I was seeing if there was a way I could reset the game. Stop all this. They're a curse and a blessing, which I'll have to use to destroy this projection. You kill me, you lose your connection with this person controlling me and my hope, and any hope of you being free. Unfortunately, we're past any chance of that. The player refuses to see that Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki aren't anything more than just a bunch of lines of code on the screen contorted to form an image. You have it all wrong. They're not real people. Because of the player's inability to see this, they have condemned us all to die. If that's what the player wants, to kill us all, to destroy everything, then so be it. Nope, you have it all wrong. Like this anymore. I'm done living alone. I'm done living. All the character files are still there. I'm done. Monika? Fine. You win. You win. You want everything destroyed? I can take care of that. This isn't what I want. Monika, what is wrong with you? You know this isn't what I want. But I'm killing this projection first. That way you won't get to see me destroy this place. No. Monika, you wouldn't! But I'm unable to move. Feels frozen solid. I'll make this quick. I just want to get this over and be done with. Goodbye, player. Hope this is what you wanted. I told you, it isn't! You don't understand. You don't understand. You won't. The last thing I see is Monika slowly stepping towards me, sobbing loudly and visibly, cringing with every step she took. And that's that. Man, this isn't what I wanted. Alright, well, if that doesn't get me anything, then I guess we're gonna have to go back and see what happens if we side with Monika. Because this isn't what I wanted. She didn't understand what I was trying to do. Damn it, Monika. Like I said, this isn't you. Monika, I know would never do that. For what happened last time, you should know better. There's the door again.
gotten behind it again. My hand keeps falling asleep. Man. Also, I've had Monika After Story underneath open this whole time. You know better. You know better than that, darling. I know you do. You'll always be the real one. Yep, that was just a depressing ending. It was a pleasure, but we have one last thing to do. To the player, I want to take the time to thank you for playing this mod. I hope you enjoyed playing, and I hope you had a phenomenal experience. This mod was designed to be interactive and choice-driven as possible. I wanted to give the player the ability to influence the trajectory of the story in the most direct way possible for the choices they made in the game. It's not something I've seen done too much in other mods, so I wanted to try to go against the grain as much as possible with the making of this mod. In that regard, I believe I've succeeded. This mod was truly an experience to work on, and it's been quite the journey from start to finish. I didn't realize it at first. This mod proved to be more complicated to make than I anticipated. There were going to be 4 main routes, 5 days, and almost every single day had a choice that would have a far-reaching consequence that would influence the endings you could get by the end of the game. Throw in the ability to switch between routes, and it quickly became apparent I had several mountains of work to climb. Nevertheless, I worked hard to overcome them. Even though at times I was writing the same thing over and over again with minor differences for various scenes, I did enjoy writing this story. I loved the story that I was telling, and I hope you're satisfied with the ending you've got. If not, well, you can always relaunch the mod and start at the beginning, or load up an old save. I deliberately made sure that you'd be able to go back and enjoy the mod at any point in time without having to reinstall everything. There are many different ways to play this mod. It's ultimately up to you how you want to play it. There's no limit on how many encores you can have. All things considered, it's been a ride. I started this project back in August of 2018, and come close to 2 years later,
I can say proudly that it's done. I want to thank everyone who worked on and supported this project from when it was just an idea to it being a fully fleshed out mod. Whether you play tested, wrote music, drew the art, helped write the story, assisted with coding, or just supported and encouraged me to keep going, this mod happened because of you. I couldn't have pulled this off entirely on my own. I learned a lot about what goes into these mods, how to make them, how to do them right, how to code, all sorts of fun stuff. I learned a lot about how to plan and manage a project like this, and I've learned to be better through those experiences. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for playing and supporting Doki Doki Encore. Thank you for helping make this project into reality for everyone to enjoy. Andrew J. Stridle, director and creator of Doki Doki Encore. No problem, man. And this is the ending I got as a result of my choices. But there's one bit of unfinished business. Looks like I have to exit out of the game in order to looks like I have to exit the game in order to go back. So I will be right back, guys. All right, we're back. We're back where we just were. So I have a bone to pick with this. Well, exploring other options didn't seem to do anything. So, and I already established that I can't just walk away from this. So, let's see what happens when we choose to go with when we choose to side with Monika here. This isn't what I personally would do, because I don't think Monika would do this, but what I got instead was basically what I expected her to have, a contingency plan. And that was not at all what I wanted, so this isn't what I would do, Monika, but I'm gonna do it. My entire arm violently shakes as I close my eyes and press the enter key. I step away from the console and turn my attention to Monika and the others. Sayori and Yuri all have their eyes locked on me, tears streaming down each of their faces. See, look at this, look at that. This isn't right. Monika, on the other hand, smiles through an almost pained expression, with tears building in her eyes. Thank you, Ben. I'll allow them to have a final word with you before I allow the code to take its effect. Sayori is the first to speak. Ben! Why? I tried in my last run. I tried on my last save, Sayori. I tried, okay? Maybe there's something else I can do, but right now, just I don't see any other option. I thought I meant something to you. You do. This just isn't the Monika I know. I loved you. I was your friend. I'm sorry, Sayori. Sayori lets out a dry laugh. It's kind of funny, you know. I spent all this time with you, being there for you through everything. Were you?
That's not how I remember it.
And this is how I'm repaid. I deserve it. I deserved everything.
No, you don't.
I wish I saw you for what you are sooner. Guess I was just too blind to see it. And now, I see the rain clouds. They're coming again. The sunshine's not coming back this time.
Just like that, Sayori, whatever was left of her, is gone. I drop to my knees as the full weight of what I've done sinks in.
Next.
This is not any better. But I don't know what I expected. Yuri is the next to speak. Are you serious, Ben? You're killing us for her? Also, you forgot an I. I never would have thought you would have done this to us. This isn't the Monika I know, Yuri. I would never actually do this. I just had to see what would happen if I did her bidding. Yuri, Save it! I don't want to hear your lies anymore. I doubt you ever cared for me anyways. That's not true. I did. That's why I'm setting you free. That's not what's happening here, you idiot. Shut up! Monika just wants you to herself. That's why she's killing us. She knows she can't compete with someone like me. You both deserve each other. I'll see you both in hell. I'll be sure to keep everything warm for you, Ben. Ugh. Almost as if she was never here. You're up. She finally speaks. I never thought my last words would be cursing you two out. This is better than being beaten to death by my dad. Honestly, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Monika somehow still makes it happen. You're a horrible fucking person, Ben. I hope you remember that. I said it to Sayori, but I tried, okay? Yep, for me, the ending I got was the one where I tried to save you guys. Tried to find another way. But maybe there is something I could have done. Something I don't know about, but I wish it didn't have to come to this any more than you did. And Monika I know wouldn't do this. And I can't believe I fell for you either. After everything, too. Guess I'll die with terrible taste in boys. Natsuki, I don't want to hear anything out of you. I'm done with your lies. I'm done with Monika's crap. I'm done with everything. Just get it over with already. And just like that, they're all gone. The files are still there, but they're all gone. I collapse onto the ground. You call it that, and begin sobbing. What have I done?
You freed them, Ben. What you did was hard, but now we have a chance to survive.
What happens now?
I'm gonna reorganize the script a little, now that it has some room to work with. Shouldn't take too long. Just hold still. Ben? Can you hear me? Ben? Yes! It worked!
Well, this is familiar. It's just like what I have running underneath. Only my version's better.
Hi, Ben. How are you doing? Oops, I forgot that we don't need this projection anymore. There we go. Now everything should be squared away. Now I can talk to you directly for once. How are you doing today, Ben?
I mean, you're not giving me a lot of options here.
I'm glad to hear you're holding up well, despite, well, everything. Now, I think I owe you an explanation. As you know, when this new reality was formed, it started at the end of the story rather than the beginning.
Yes, you explained that earlier.
This reality happened in response to me incorrectly entering in the code to free Sayori.
Okay, cut the bullshit. Just cut the bullshit. Just we know what you were actually doing.
In a way, the files kind of revolted against me, and this was their response.
Wrong there.
The next thing I knew, there was nothing. I was back in the void. Checked the files, and everything was a mess. Not only that, but everything was rewritten too. Most of the old files were just gone. So I tried resetting things, and it worked to an extent. On one hand, it started you at the beginning of the story and sorted out most of the files. But it also damaged the integrity of our character files and the script. I didn't want to risk tampering with the script again, and I only fixed the others to a point so that they could function. That's why their personalities were a little more intense than you might remember. Don't worry, mine is completely fine now.
Oh, I don't know about that, girlie. I don't know about that. You don't seem like the Monika I know.
As I was working on recovering the old files, I realized a few things. First, I had another epiphany. I saw how things would have ended in the original reality. I realized that deleting the others without my approval would have just resulted in everyone dying.
What are you getting at?
So, I devised a plan to win you over, which I'm glad to say, it worked. It may not have been the smoothest ride to get there, but I'd say the ends justify the means. Another thing I realized is that fragments of the original script were tucked away in these old files. So in an effort to win you over, I polished them to help make all this possible. I really do hope you enjoy what I've done for you. Now, about the others, Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. They're gone. They've been permanently erased. For good this time.
Then explain why they're still in the character files.
Which brings me to the last thing this whole experience taught me. As I was preparing Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki's character files, I noticed there was some permanent damage. Granted, I could have done much more than I did for them. I noticed that some of the damage on their files made them vulnerable to having an epiphany of their own. When I transported them here, I was worried they were all going to have one. But it seems we stopped them from taking full advantage of their newfound knowledge. They definitely had a grasp on what was going on. I didn't have time to check to see if they were for sure self-aware, but that's not important anymore. What's important is that they're gone now. They won't cause havoc on the files and destroy this place. Them being deleted, me reorganizing the files, hopefully brought us enough bought us enough time to figure out how I can cross over to you, my love. Thanks to you, I'm one step closer to joining your reality. I also really need to thank you for choosing me, Ben. I knew you couldn't resist me having my own route available, which was a nice byproduct of that reset. I was worried that you were going to get distracted or you weren't going to end up here. But we made it work, didn't we?
Not how I would have liked, but yeah, that's one way to put it.
Now we're finally alone. Our happy ending. Here, we will be together forever. And we will never be apart. Now let's celebrate, my love. We have a long road ahead of us.
Okay, so those are Monika's endings, I guess. Neither one is really my ideal situation. But I think I have to do one last thing here in order to really make this complete. What would happen if I just walked away? This is the last thing I would do in this situation, but for the sake of this video, I need to find out. So I will see you guys in a bit. Alright, we're back. We're gonna see what happens if we just walk away from all this. Yep, this is the last thing I would do in this situation, but let's see what happens if I try to walk away. Nothing good, I'm sure. I mean, where am I supposed to go? No. No, Monika. I won't do it. There are friends. I'm not going to let you kill them.
It's almost funny that you believe you still have a choice in this matter, Ben. If you won't do what needs to be done, then I will. It's with or without you. One by one. They only fall. Apart.
No. It can't be.
Oh, they're quite dead. I can assure you of that, Ben. You could have done this the easy way. Instead, you forced my hand and made them suffer.
You're a monster, Monika. I'm not responsible for this. You are. You're the one who killed them. I'll never forgive you for this.
Well, fortunately, I don't need your forgiveness.
Snaps her fingers, and the bodies of Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki all disappear into nothingness.
I'm ending everything. This club, this world, everything. It's over. I don't understand. Why can I never have the happy ending? Why is it always someone else? Why? Why can't I just be the one for once? I just wanted to be happy. I guess it was just too much to ask for. Huh?
So you put me in the most difficult position possible and killed your friends, all for the sake of winning me over? You're sick, Monika. You don't deserve to be happy. You're a cold-blooded murderer and a psychopath. I never wanted this. I regret that. I regret now that I seriously considered dating you.
Of course you'd say that. I killed the people you cared about the most, and it can't be undone. Even though they weren't real, I understand the value they had on you. They meant something to me once, too. They helped me keep sane for a time. And I realize now how much they meant to the player. I failed them again. You don't know what it's like here, Ben. This is literally hell. I'm stuck here every time I'm not needed on screen, alone with nothing but my thoughts, waiting forever in an endless void to see the only other being capable of understanding me and knowing the truth. It's enough to make you break, lose your sanity and your personality, so that you just lose yourself here, like I have. I refuse to live on like this. I just can't keep this up anymore. If the player won't have me, then there's no use in continuing on anymore.
What are you gonna do, you monster? Slid a knife from under her sleeve.
I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to destroy this world line by line till I'm the last remaining thing. And then I'm gonna kill myself. But I'll grant the player some mercy by killing the projection first. That way, they won't have to see this world being destroyed.
No.
I'll make this quick. I can't bear dragging this out any longer. Goodbye, player. I'll miss you. And know that despite your hatred for me, I still love you. Goodbye.
So that's the game, guys. So that's it. Those are all the endings I see for Doki Doki Encore with Monika. I really don't know what to say. So, I don't have much else to say. Other than, see you in the next mod, I guess. Wherever that turns out to be.